This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 6 in the National Football League. New York Football Giants, the G-Men, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. What a battle up in Jersey on Sunday. These two teams went at it, and it came down to the wire, as it seems like every single Baltimore Ravens game seems to do. Going back to last year, it seems like all of their games were one-possession games. This game was no different. Every Baltimore Ravens game seems to end with some sort of tension and drama at the end. Get to the breakdown of this game here in a second, but first, welcome to the Louie Tee Network. And if you aren't a subscriber and this is your first time here, subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. I'm also on Twitter at In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Also on Facebook, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. If you're on Twitter while you're watching this live feed, go ahead, leave me a message using the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read at the end of this breakdown. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this live, in the chat box, use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read. Also, you can see all of my social media platforms right there at the top of the screen flashing by. So if you forget what the Facebook page is or what the YouTube page is or channel or the Twitter handle, right there up above, go ahead, subscribe, follow, and like. That being said, let's jump into this breakdown. This was a good football game, man. Back and forth. Started off slow. Not a lot of offense in the first half. Things picked up in the second half. Some questionable penalties and some big plays down the stretch to declare a victor. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. We start with the road team and their likes in the first half, that being the Baltimore Ravens. Breshad Perriman with a big ball. Going up, climbing the ladder. This is what they drafted this kid to do. Go and get the football. This was a big play early in the game. Led to a field goal for the Ravens. So climbing the ladder, going up and getting the football, using that size to go and high point the football. Big play by Breshad Perriman. Forcing a fumble of Odell Beckham Jr. on one of the early possessions for the Giants. He coughs it up. They're able to recover. They turn that into a touchdown. Terrence West. Wake up, Mr. West! Mr. West! 1 yard touchdown. And just like that, it's 10-0 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. So Ravens did a great job of jumping on the Giants. Giants losers of 3 straight. And the Ravens no stranger to losing of late. They had lost 2 in a row. So both of these teams looking to get off the schneid, snap a losing streak. You're on the road against a team that's struggling. What you want to do is jump on them early. Ravens did exactly that, getting out to the 10-0 lead, capitalizing with a 1 yard Terrence West touchdown. The run defense. I know the Giants don't scare anybody running the football. They're one of the worst rushing teams in the league. But, okay, good. They don't run the football. Make sure they don't run it on you then. And I thought the Ravens did what they've done all season long, which is basically put up a brick wall at the line of scrimmage and stop teams from running the football. They've got to be one of the top teams in stopping the run this season. I know the Packers went into week number 6 as the number 1 team stopping the run. But after what the Cowboys did to them, they beat hard-pressed to still be number 1. This Ravens team doesn't give up much on the ground, and they didn't in that first half or really all game long. And again, I understand the Giants don't run it well, but still, don't give it up. They didn't. I thought they played well defensively in the first half of this game. Giants first half likes. Roger Lewis Jr. getting his first career touchdown on a corner route. And this is a guy that I was high on coming out of college. Had some, troubles and some legal issues, which saw him not go to Ohio State. And he's a guy that was highly talented. I thought could really make some noise. And he didn't have a great combine, didn't have a great process, and ends up being undrafted. And the Giants get themselves a steal because I think this guy could play football. And you're seeing that now. He's going to get opportunities, and I think he's going to make the most of his opportunities. and had his first touchdown grab. I expect more from him as this season progresses. Defense. I thought the defense was good, and I've said this all season long. The reason why the Giants are sitting at 2-3 coming into this game wasn't because of the defense. The defense has done its part. This defense has been really good at times and solid. At its worst, they've been solid. They have never been bad this season, and they were good in the first half. This game could have gotten out of control early with the turnovers and the mistakes and the lack of offense by the Giants. This game could have easily been 20-0, 17-0 at the half. Instead, they were able to keep it respectable and give themselves a chance. So give this defense some credit. They did some good things in the first half of this football game. First half dislikes. You go back to the Ravens. Illegal formation penalty negates a Kyle Juszczyk first down into Giants territory. There were several instances where the Ravens were moving the football, and because of penalties, they saw their drives be halted and have to punt. These are the types of things that help you continue on your losing streak. You lose one game, you lose two games, you want to lose a third in a row? This is what you do. This is the blueprint right here. Turnovers and mistakes. Penalties will always get you in the end. And you can't have these types of situations. The thing that I can't stand, look, I can always accept penalties that happen in the heat of the battle, i.e. holding, okay? I.e. face mask. You don't want to face mask a guy, but it's not like that's in your intent to go grab a guy's face mask. But in the process of trying to get him down, your hand slips and boom, face mask penalty. Those suck, but they're a part of the game. Holding penalties. You get beat. Your quarterback is about to get savagely knocked down. Ball could come out. You hold the guy. I get it. It happens. The ones I can't stand are pre-snap penalties. Those are self-inflicted wounds that are avoidable. Okay? You can't line up illegally. You can't come into the game and not check in with the officials. You can't cover up a guy. You can't have two guys moving in motion and don't set for a second. You can't have those type of penalties. To me, those are the ones that I can't stomach. They don't make any sense to me. That illegal formation penalty, every year it seems like we see this. Remember that penalty we saw against the Cardinals on Monday Night Football last year? The one that shouldn't have been a penalty for not checking in with the officials. Same thing here. Kyle Juszczyk, catch and run down the sideline, puts you into Giants territory. You know, you don't have to do much to get into Justin Tucker field goal range. You were already in field goal range with that Kyle Juszczyk catch. Instead, it's illegal formation. You have to punt the football. That's the difference between winning and losing in this league. Giants offsides penalty gives the Ravens a first down when it was fourth down and they were punting. When they were punting the ball, the Giants inexplicably line up all sides again. I can't understand that. Ball's right there. All you got to do is look down the line, see where the ball is, and don't line up past the ball. It's really simple. They didn't do that. They were offsides. So you get a free set of downs. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. What do? You get a nice penalty and a chunk play, get a big run by Terrence West, get you into Giants territory, and then you proceed to have a holding penalty and then a delay of game penalty. Got a punt. And you were on your way to more points. That's how you lose football games. You're leaving points out on the field when you do things like that. Let's go to the Giants' first half dislikes. It's the Odell Beckham Jr. fumble. For as bad as this offense was in the first half of this game, I cut them some slack. The Ravens defensively aren't that bad. And that fumble by Odell Beckham Jr. was a big one. Ravens took that and turned it into 7 points and got out to a 10-0 lead because of that fumble. You could argue that it wasn't even a catch. I thought it looked a little suspect to me, but they said he made a football move. Okay, it's a fumble. Hold on to the ball. He didn't. The Ravens took advantage of it. Let's get to the second half likes for both teams. We go back to the Ravens. Tavon Young with an interception, his second of the season. I'm starting to really like this kid. You know, and I thought he was going to be a solid player, but I didn't expect him to come along as quickly as he has. Young guy coming on to this Ravens team out of Temple, playing some really good football right now. And his interception leads to a field goal in the second half. So Tavon Young having an impact on this Ravens football team. 70-yard, 60 minutes completion down to about the, let's call it the 7-yard line. You get a face mask penalty, half the distance of the goal, puts the football right around the 3. And you got first and goal from the 3, and you can't get in. Stopped 3 times from the 1. Stopped once from the 3. Really? You know my mantra. You know my motto. And it proved to be true in this game. You can't get 1 yard. You don't deserve to win. You're at the 1-yard line, second and goal, can't get in. You're at the 1-yard line, third and goal, can't get in. You're at the 1-yard line, fourth and goal, can't get in. You can't get a yard. You're not supposed to win in this league. Can't be turned back in that situation. Got to get in the end zone. And I'm all for going forward on fourth down. I'm with John Harbaugh there. I don't think that's a bad call. Get in the end zone. At one point I said, hey, Joe Flacco, what is he, like 6'11"? How about you just quarterback sneaking and tell him to get in there? I don't know. That's just me. But you should be able to get 1 yard with your running back, right? I would like to think so. So that was a little frustrating there. We'll talk about that here in a second. Mike Wallace draws a PI. That leads to a field goal. He was huge in this game. Mike Wallace had a number of big plays. Talked about the big the 70-yard completion down to about the 6-yard line or so. Draws the PI. That leads to a field goal. He had a big game. 4th and 1 conversion from your own 34-yard line. That was huge. 4 minutes left in the game. That's a big, big roll of the dice there. And if you don't get that, this game's probably over at that point because Giants are already in field goal range at that point. A touchdown, this game's over. And you might not even see the ball back again. I mean, let's face it, 4 minutes left in the game. You got 2 timeouts remaining. They get a couple of first downs. This game's done. So that was a ballsy call. And Flacco rolling out, throwing it up, and Kamar Aiken climbing the ladder to go get that. That's a huge play in this ball game. Let's go to the Giants and their second half lights. Opening drive of the second half, a field goal. Nice drive. You'd love to see that end in a touchdown. Weren't able to get into the end zone, but you got a field goal, get on the scoreboard there. Odell Beckham, shame on you if you step to the old dirty Beckham. Man, did he have a party or what, man? Fiesta, fiesta, fiesta. Fiesta, fiesta, fiesta. Boy, he went off. Had himself a good old time. 8 grabs, 222 yards, 2 scores. Seemed like every time the Giants needed a big play, he was making it in this game. Catches of 75, 66, and 41 in this game. This guy was off the charts good. And a lot of it came once Jimmy Smith exited the game. But I'm not saying Jimmy was going to stop what was going on in this game anyway. But, man, Odell Beckham Jr., my goodness, including the game-winning 66-yard catch and run on 4th and 1. This guy was money, and this is why he is who he is. Now, all of the extra antics, getting a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in the end zone afterwards, that's dumb, stupid, and avoidable. You want to take your helmet off, take your ass on the sidelines, then you can peel off your cap, and then you can start running around screaming and acting stupid and proposing to kicking nets. But until you get your ass off of the field, you don't get a 15-yard penalty, not in a situation like that. Love what you just did. Love that you just gave us the lead on 4th and 1. Don't get a 15-yard penalty because what you just did is you just jump-started the Ravens' attempt at coming back and stealing this game from us. Gotta be smart, man. Gotta be smart. Defense with a goal line stand after Wallace deep ball. That was huge. That was huge on the part of this Ravens or Giants defense. I mean, credit has to be given to the Giants defense. I mean, you get it down there. They're at the 3. They run it down to the 1 on the first play. And in the next 3 plays, you stand up tall and don't allow them in. And it's not like they were pussyfooting around, not like they were trying to be soft and throw it in. They were running it. They ran it. And they just could not get in. Let's go to the dislikes, man. This game was wacky in the second half. A lot of dislikes for me on both sides of the field. Let's get back to the Ravens. Can't punch it in from 1st and goal from the 3. I talked about that already. You get 4 attempts. 3 of them coming from the 1-yard line, and you can't get in. Look, you don't deserve to win if you can't get in there, but there's got to be a way for you to get in there. Fullback dive, give it the use check. I'm going, personally, my favorite, Flacco over the top. He's 6'6", tremendous reach. Flacco over the top on a quarterback sneak. Stretch it over, touchdown. You just need to break the plane. That's it. Got to get in, though. Come on. Even if you're turning around and handing it to Terrence West, got to be able to get in the end zone. They weren't able to do so. Jimmy Smith and Terrell Suggs leave this game with injuries. Smith wasn't able to finish the game. Suggs was. And I'm hearing that he's got like a torn bicep or something of that nature. He's played with it before, so he doesn't think he's going to have to miss the rest of the season to have surgery, but that's going to limit what he is as a football player. But sounds like T. Sizzle is going to try to play through this thing. We'll see what happens. The defense giving up a 66-yard touchdown on 4th and 1. You can't do that. First of all, the Giants shouldn't have even been in that position. What the hell is up with Larry Donnell being soft and running out of bounds on like 3rd and 5 with a cornerback, and you're like 6'5", 6'6", 270 pounds, and you're going to run out of bounds and bring up 4th and 1? Man, I could smack the hell out of you for that. What's wrong with you? You're too damn big for that. Just like my mom used to tell me when I would start crying or I would do something stupid and I was like 10 years old and it was like something a 4-year-old would do. She said, man, what's wrong with you? You're too damn big for that. What's wrong with you? Come on, Larry Donnell. You're too damn big for that. Get the goddamn first down. Look, time is not of any importance right now. That first down is. Giants still had timeouts. What the hell are you doing? Get the first down, bruh. Yikes. But Odell Beckham saves the day with the 66-yard catch and run for a touchdown. Can't give that up if you're the Ravens. You cannot give that. Make them earn it. At worst, this game goes to overtime. You cannot let them run that in like that. Flacco missing late. My man, I'm going to tell you what. I'm a Joe Flacco fan. You know how I feel about Joe Flacco. But of late, Joe has not been clutch like I'm used to seeing, man. Game on the line, Joe used to be money. Ice water in the veins. He's taking his team down the field, but he's not finishing the job. He didn't finish the job versus Oakland. I thought they lost that game at the end because of Joe Flacco. I thought he was suspect at the end of that Oakland Raiders game. Last week versus the Redskins, they had opportunities. He hit Bashad Perriman. Perriman didn't get his second foot down. You don't really want to put that on Flacco. The pass to Mike Wallace late, that was on the money. Wallace didn't catch it, and he took a shot. I mean, what can you do there? But this particular game, I thought Flacco dropped the football. I thought he had 2 instances where guys were open, and he just missed. Wallace, I don't know what the hell. We're going to get to the Giants' defense at the end of the game. Wallace is wide open, down the sidelines. Not only is he going to catch this thing inside the 10, inside the 5, he's going to tiptoe and mosey his way out of bounds, stop the clock, and give the Ravens an opportunity to take 2 or 3 shots at the end zone with the clock stopped. I don't know what they were doing. We're going to get to that in a second. He misses Mike Wallace. Air mills him. Then on the final play of the game, Kamar Aiken is wide open in the corner of the end zone. He throws it where everyone is. Kamar Aiken is yelling, hey, Joe, I'm open. And Joe doesn't see him. How? I don't know why he would throw it where there's 5 Giants and there's 1 Raven standing out there all by his lonesome. Don't ask me. I don't know what Joe Flacco was doing. I just thought Joe was off on that final possession, and they had opportunities to really make this game interesting and potentially steal this game right from under the nose of the Giants. And I thought Flacco was just absent on that final possession late. You go to the Giants in their second half dislikes. Eli Manning's second interception. The first one I'm not really going to talk too much about because, and I haven't mentioned it, came at the end of the first half. They weren't going to get any points anyway. It's the equivalent of throwing a Hail Mary, essentially. So the second one, it stung, though. Tavon Austin with a great diving interception leads to a field goal, so that gave up some points. Pass interference was a huge play in this game for the Giants. They had a couple of pass interferences called on them. One on Trevin Wade that leads to a field goal. The second one, though, I thought was questionable at best. I actually thought it was a terrible call. And I always think that Jeff Triplett's officiating crew, they're the worst. So it doesn't surprise me when you see a suspect call out there. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie called for pass interference on Bashad Perriman. and I just didn't see it. Maybe I didn't see it, and it happened sooner. But where they placed the ball, I just didn't see pass interference. I just didn't. That led to the go-ahead touchdown with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. You can't make that call. I thought he was in great position to pick it off. And if it was pass interference on anybody, it would have been on Perryman. So, I missed it. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it happened before then. But like I said, where they placed the football indicated to me that it should have been in the area when I was watching, and I just saw a guy in perfect position to make a pick, and Perryman yanking him down to make sure he doesn't catch it. But maybe I missed something. But that was a big play in the game. Gave the Ravens an opportunity to take the lead, and that they did. Let's get to this Giants defense late, man. This was piss poor, pathetic. My goodness. This was the triple P, and you don't ever want the triple P. Piss poor, pathetic. So I just don't understand what they were doing. I've never seen a defense like this. Okay, so the Ravens don't have any timeouts. So the one thing you want to do is protect the sidelines. There's one play towards the end where Mike Wallace is literally wide ass open, as wide as you can get open by the sidelines, as close as you can get to the end zone and the sidelines at the same time without having a Giants defender around. I don't know what the hell that was, but he was open, okay? Joe Flacco missed him. They got lucky. On the final play of the game, wide open in the end zone is Kamar Aiken. And Joe Flacco, if he sees him and throws him a rope, that is a touchdown. Again, I don't know what these Giant defenders were doing. Guys were open late in this game. Guys were open. What kind of defense they were playing? Don't ask me. I do not know. Because there were opportunities for plays to be made, and there weren't Giant defenders around to stop these plays from being made. Unreal. They did not want to win this game. I swear to you, the Giants tried their absolute hardest to give this game back to the Ravens. And the Ravens said, no, thank you. We're fine. We're okay. Thank you. We appreciate the gesture, but we're going to go home with a loss. Thanks anyway. This defense at the end of the game, I wouldn't recommend you using this again, or else it's going to cost you down the road. Let's get to the banana in the tailpipe. I got one for the Ravens, got one for the Giants. Ravens in this game, I'm not so sure I'm in love with the play calling necessarily. I didn't think it was bad. Okay, I didn't think it was bad in this game, and you're missing Steve Smith. Maybe that changes things when he comes back. But I do like the fact that Terrence West did touch the football 23 times on the ground. Thought that was great. I'd like to see your young running back get in the game a little bit more. But notwithstanding, I thought the play calling was okay. Didn't think it was great in this game. A lot of checkdowns. I didn't think they took advantage of some opportunities that they may have had in the passing game. That being said, they took shots down the field. They got rewarded for it with pass interference. We'll see. Jury's still out on Marnie Morningwig, and he's better than Mark Tresman, I can tell you that much right now. But my big banana in the tailpipe is this Ravens team actually really good? Because they started out 3-0, and I thought it was a phantom 3-0. You beat the Bills when they weren't the Bills. You beat the Jags. You beat the Browns, and you had to come from behind in that game. You were down big. And then you lose 3 straight. Who are you? I'm not sure you're a good football team. I'm really not. So my banana in the tailpipe is this Ravens team any good? I'm not sure I'm buying that anymore. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. These next couple of weeks are going to be huge because 3 straight losses, all winnable games, 2 of them at home, no excuse. Got to win at least one of those games. They weren't able to. And for the Giants, for as good as the Giants were defensively on this night or on this day, you can't play the end of the game like you did in this game. That was pathetic. And it's going to cost you. So I'm not buying the banana in the tailpipe that this Giants defense is bad. Because I've heard some people say, oh, it's not as good and they wasted their money. Nah, I'm not buying that. But I'm going to tell you right now, they got to be better down the stretch than what they were in this game. They were horrible down the stretch, and it almost cost them. Let's see if I got anything on Twitter. And if I don't, then we'll get to some of your comments here in the discussion. All right, so nothing on Twitter. Let's get to some of your comments here on the chat. My man AK says, Ravens could have won this game if only they didn't have double-digit penalties. It killed drives, and Jimmy Smith concussion out rested. The secondary couldn't contain Beckham. Yeah, I thought Beckham went nuts once Jimmy Smith left the game. And you could see that was apparent. And I don't know if he's going to stop them, and I don't know if he's the end-all, be-all. But it wasn't like that before he got the concussion. I can tell you that much. He wasn't going off and making all these plays when he was in the game. Penalties, definitely an issue. I talked about them in this game. They just had too many penalties. Both teams, though. I mean, Giants, pass interference penalties out the yin-yang. I mean, anytime Jeff Triplett is your head official and he's got his crew with him, there's going to be at least 10 penalties on each team. That's what it seems like. They're horrible. So take it for what it's worth. AK says, I think the offense aired it out finally, but the penalties held them back, ran the ball well. I was impressed with you knew this was coming because Mark Tresman was fired because of the lack of dedication to the run. You knew they were going to dedicate 20 to 25 carries to Terrence West in this run game, and they did. They threw it deep, which is what we've been waiting for with Joe Flacco and his offense. He's got all these guys that can run really fast. Well, let's use them. They did that in this game. I just want to see more consistency. The Ravens were horrible at sustaining offense in this drive, in this game. And that's what I still have a question about, sustaining offense. It was either a big play or it was no drive in this game. It seemed like there wasn't a lot of driving the football methodically. Outside of the first possession when they got the field goal, it was either a big play via pass interference, a big run by Terrence West, or a big play to Flacco to Wallace, or it wasn't a drive. They allowed the Giants, I thought, to control them. And these penalties, like you said, they did not help at all. Andrew Kim says, Jimmy Smith's absence in the second half shows his worth. Just can't stay healthy. Offense was okay. Makeshift O-line and missing key players on both sides. I agree. And we already know the secondary. That was the weakness going into the season, was the secondary for the Baltimore Ravens. We already knew that was the one weakness that they had. And you saw it come to fruition in this game once Jimmy Smith exited the game. Duran Johnson says, the Ravens team is mediocre this year. Shaking my head. Hope they beat the Jets next week. Congrats on your win Sunday, Lou. I appreciate that. Tico the Anger says, Jimmy Smith shut down OBJ. It's when he went out, OBJ did everything. And I said that already. This game changed when Jimmy Smith left the game with a concussion. He left, he came back, and then he left again, and he left for good. And I got you. And it stung. And that's when he started going bananas. And so we'll see. We will see. But this Ravens team has to prove a lot to me because after the hot start, they've cooled off considerably. And I want to see what's going to happen in these next coming weeks. As far as the Giants are concerned, this is a big win. They needed it in the worst way. The NFC East, not to be played with this year, had they lost this game and dropped to 2-4, their season might have been done before it even got a chance to get started because the Cowboys aren't playing around. They're 5-1. The Redskins are right behind them at 4-2. And the Eagles, albeit they're at 3-2 right now, still a damn good football team there as well. So a loss here to drop them under 500, even worse, would have really been detrimental to their season and the outlook of it. Now back at 500 at 3-3, you're right in the thick of things in this tough NFC East division. It's going to do it for me here on Lockdown Coverage, Giants and Ravens. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I'm going to see you guys a little bit later on. Got many more games to break down, including Lions and Rams. I'll be back with that breakdown a little bit later on. I'll see you guys then. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you a little bit later on. Have a good one.